and good morning. So nice to be here with you again today. I hope that your week has been productive. Let us take a moment here and feel our bodies, become aware of our minds, our breathing. This is part of a mindful practice to be able to, as we are aware, we can see the change, which is important for our minds to realize the positive effects that meditation has on our body, breathing, mind. All of these, of course, are interconnected. One will influence the other. And as you'll probably notice throughout the day, when you meditate and when you don't meditate, you'll see a significant difference. So let's just check in again with mindfulness. The important aspect is to not judge. We're just simply observing. See how our mind is perhaps upon waking up, because as stated, sleeping is a kind of death. This is thought of in many religions and traditions. Actually, in early Judaism, death was considered the sleep, which our mind becomes dull. So in meditation and Buddhism, that is why we regulate sleep according to Master Dhyana, is that if we oversleep or undersleep, we will have negative effects to our practice. So just observe how your mind is. Sometimes it's cloudy. Usually most people's mind, unless they had the proper amount of sleep, will be cloudy, a little bit muddled, perhaps in the more negative way, some negative chatter. Then the other, let's take a look at, is our breathing. A lot of times my breathing in the morning is very shallow. Again, Master Tiantai tells us to regulate our breath, neither being too sharp nor too shallow. But the regulated breath is the ideal that we practice during meditation. And then I see that breath being carried over into my daily life, which of course, the many books that I've been reading and understanding that even in all of the techniques that when people are in stressful techniques, to come to that point of simply observing one's breath, we can change the state of our mind, our system of reaction, such as our nervous system, also our body, such as perhaps when our heart rate is elevated, we can bring it down. When our mind is moving quickly, we can calm it down. This is all very essential to be aware, especially if you're in the position to do the proper thing. And then finally, let's look at our bodies. Our bodies, of course, are connected, like our breath and our mind, to the environment. Today, actually, it's quite bright this morning. The weather is always changing. Now, in this period, it is both getting warm and then very cold. The crocus are starting to come up through the ground, so are the daffodils. That's a good sign for spring. We know that this month we're going to celebrate Ohigan, which is the solstice of spring, during which time we observe the precepts. But our body, sometimes we feel our joints are stiff. Therefore, let's take a moment and do some stretching exercise, as we usually do. Again, I like to do this according to corner here, because I have many problems with my back, my body, due to from birth. And then we're going to go again, letting the head naturally weight moving it with the body. Go to the left, now right here. Our shoulders. Okay, let us find our seat, relax ourselves, find that center pendulum. We can move a little left, a little right. Tuck our chin in here, ears over shoulders, hands in Hokkai join, eyes gently closed. We're going to do 3 purifying breaths, breathing through our nose, holding and exhaling. With pranayama, these purifying factors, we can breathe in. If you can't breathe in for the full 3 seconds, even though it sounds easy, it's not. You can breathe in simple spurts. So, and then hold it. Okay, so let us begin. Round 1, please breathe in, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Round 3, hold, exhale. Now we imagine ourselves as a stone anchor, preparing for meditation. Let us use our exhale through our nose. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Inhale, simply observe the sound of the bell. Let us enter into Dhyana. Bring your attention to your body, release your concentration. Simply observe your mind, your breathing, your body. Let's do 1, breathing in for 3, hold for 5, exhale for 7, breathe in, hold, exhale. Good. Come back to regular breathing. Start to move your fingers, your toes, your body. Thank you very much. Let's take a moment to get back to our study. I hope you've been working on being aware of the 5 hindrances. As we were telling and speaking on previously, by familiarizing ourselves with these hindrances and their antidotes, we learn to recognize them, not only in meditation, but in our daily life. And we will be able to practice, even though we are not sitting on the mat. We can practice and continue our meditation, our awareness, our mindfulness throughout the day. First, we worked on the concept of worldly desire. Secondly, aversion. And today we will speak on the third, which is laziness and lethargy. Laziness appears when the cost of an activity seems to outweigh the benefits. That's what our mind is constantly checking on. This is one aspect of mindfulness that people don't often speak on, but mindfulness allows us to then take a moment rather than simply brushing over the benefits, as slight as they may be from our practice. Our mind is watching, right, observing, seeing, and comparing. That's what the mind does. It compares, it takes two things and brings them together, and then in some way organizes that information based on our knowledge. And then if that knowledge changes, we can be able to see and change behaviors. This is one of the ideas of cognitive behavioral therapy, that changing, even though the activating event, it's an ABC model. Activating event, behavioral response, and consequence. The action that we experience, such as the activating event, such as whatever happens in our life, we cannot control. And the consequence, which is our emotional response, is sometimes very challenging to control, to understand. And those are two specific situations that if we rely on in those moments, first in the actionary, we become simply reactionary. And in the consequence, we simply are emotional. So therefore, we're not using our awareness or intellect, right? Or insight. We're just simply reacting emotionally. But in the behavior, by observing the behavior, by becoming okay, seeing and changing within that moment, this is what many of these psychiatrists have used as an easier way to modify behavior. All right? And that if we change our philosophy, our belief system, we are able to change our behavior. So therefore, when we look at this idea of, when we look at laziness, for instance, getting up in the morning to do meditation, what I experienced, and this is true, I believe for most people, that initially we think, well, we've been told we need all of this sleep, Again, sometimes we may not properly regulate our sleep, so therefore we go to sleep too late, we're groggy. But in reality, we can regulate that. That is something that is we are able to control. And that when we meditate, we can experience, if we use mindfulness, the benefit. Then the body is able to see two opposing potentials. The more we experience the benefit of meditation, the more that will replace and overcome the laziness and lethargy. Lethargy manifests as a lack of energy. This energy comes from lack of enthusiasm, lack of experience, procrastination, and low motivation. Again, this is something that can carry over into your daily life. The opposing factor, the medicine, as we say, is directed attention and meditation. Just do it. Sometimes you have to just do it at the beginning, which means directing attention to the meditation object, in our case, Namu-myoho Renge Kyo, to counter procrastination and loss of mental energy. That is one of the great powers of the Daimoku, and something that the reason why I incorporate sitting meditation uh, with our practice, such as Shodaigyo and reading the sutras, etc., because it allows us to have a moment to focus in on the Odaimoku directly, to being able to utilize it, to connect it with our mind. A lot of times, people, the purpose of Shodaigyo, the great chanting practice, chanting, etc., is to do the same thing. However, a lot of people easily go into a kind of, let's say, just a mode where they're just saying words. There's no mind-body connection. They're not in the moment. Hence the usual point of why we have Gohonzon as the object of veneration, object of focus. However, that is not something that's emphasized enough. So people in that moment are just simply, in a way, um, not involved, just simply chanting and sitting there, right? Same as watching TV. Of course, the Daimoku has its power, so therefore that is not without any merit to be said. However, in order to enact this mindfulness, this connection with the Daimoku, right, and to be able, as it says, to become a tool to bring our mind back to, this can require lots of chanting, lots of practice. But I believe that with sitting meditation as one aspect, and hence that is a part of Shodaigyo, right, um, we are able to direct our mind more efficiently to the use of the Daimoku as our object of veneration, our object of focus. In that when we use Namu-myoho Renge Kyo, it is to calm and stop our mind. That is something that I utilize and experience by sitting meditation and then bringing it into the other aspects. But sometimes in just doing the other aspects, they just become this voice. There is no spirit or mind behind it. Of course, the effect of the Daimoku is very powerful, so just by hearing it, we can be benefited. However, to attain this state, if we're really working hard, which actually, in many ways, people say, well, meditation is not working hard. It's actually working very hard and having lots of dedication to making this shift, to having this profound shift. Um, I believe this is one aspect that is imperative to our practice. Hence, this is why I teach um, sitting meditation. I believe that this is the core for many people. Instead of going on to autopilot, that sometimes happens with reading the sutras or chanting. Those are things that need this type of mindfulness and awareness needs to be built into that, so that one experiences both purification of body, mind, spirit while practicing. So that is why I believe sometimes people chant for a very long time and are unable to experience these benefits, even though they have great faith in the Daimoku and the Lotus Sutra. So again, these are techniques and practices that we can employ, and this is just from my own opinion, my own experience. So I hope all of you have a very wonderful day. Namu-myoho Renge Kyo. Please take care, and we'll see you again on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.